Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's a Zero Eruption here, coming at you with a requested deck profile for the Prophecy of Arcanite deck I created. I'll put up an annotation here so you guys can check out a few of the duels I've had with it. Before getting into the deck, I'm just going to point out that the cards in the side deck are actually just cards which you could consider main decking, and some of the cards I actually just want to talk about. So first we have our two Summoner Monks. This is a really key card in the deck. We use this to go into most of our plays, most of which consist of Arcanite Magician. Next, Geomancer Blast Fan. This is our main Summoner Monk target. We special summon this using Summoner Monk. We add Birdman, and then we bounce Monk for Birdman, and then we tune. It also works really well with Magical Exemplar and Spellbook of Life. Next, 3 Genex Ally Birdman. It has really good synergy with the deck. Apart from with Summoner Monk and Blast Fan, it also works really well with Breaker, with Magical Exemplar, with Effect Veiler. For example, if we have a Breaker left over on the field, we can bounce it back, special summon Birdman, normal summon Breaker, and we can pop use the Breaker's effect and then tune for Arcanite. We can also normal summon Magical Exemplar, use a spell card, special summon Veiler, and then bounce Veiler back to special summon Birdman, and then go into Arcanite Magician, and we'll have Veiler in our hand, so that's really nice. Next, we have 2 Breaker the Magical Warriors. We don't run MST, so we definitely need to run 2 of these, and we also run a Lila. This card works really well with Spellbook of Power, because it becomes either a 2900 beta that can pop back row afterwards, or a 2600 beta after it's popped back row. So it's really nice. Next we have 2 Oracle of the Sun. It's a really nice card. It's got a Cyber Dragon-like effect and another effect which we rarely ever use. It's got 1000 attack, which is, not too good, but it does have 2k defense. It's a light, so that's really nice if we're gonna main cards like Chaos Sorcerer or BOS. And it also works really well with Wonder Wand, since we could special summon this, equip it with Wonder Wand, and draw 2. And we've set up by putting Oracle of the Sun in our graveyard. We mostly run this because it works really well with Knights and Sorcerer and Spellbook of Life. Next we have Magical Exemplar. This is another really key card for the deck. Each time a spell card is activated, place 2 spell counters on this card, and basically we can special summon any spellcaster from our hand or our graveyard whose levels equal to or less than the number of spell counters we remove from this card. So we actually need to remove spell counters to activate its effect. It's really good. It opens up a lot of plays. Sometimes I will go into Magical Exemplar when I use Summoner Monk, and this is mostly when I have Knights and Sorcerer in the graveyard. Next we have Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. This is really sort of like a staple. We run a Spellbook engine. This really improves consistency. There's no reason not to really run this. Its stats are not really anything to boast about, but to be honest, if it had 1800 attack like Stratos or Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo, it'd probably be a bit too good, because we're going to be plus the next turn after we summon this with Spellbook Tower Prophecy. So an 1800 beta that pluses after it just plussed is probably not a good thing. Next we have Knights and Sorcerer, really good tuner for the deck. It helps us control our opponent's graveyards, and it works really well with Magical Exemplar. We can also use this card with Spellbook of Life and Oracle of the Sun, and we can overlay any used up Arcanites we have. So that's really nice, and we can obviously make Hierophant or Big Eye. Really good. Next, 2 Veiler, self-explanatory. I mean, Spellcaster Synchro, why on earth would we not run this? Geomancer of the Ice Barrier. This card is really just here because its level and its type and the fact that it's a tuner really make it playable, because we run so many level 4 spellcasters that a level 3 tuner is really good. And because of Spellbook of Life, we could also banish this to special summon Blast Fan, and it will come back as a level 7, and then we can overlay any used up Arcanites. So that's why this card's here. It's also a decent staller. We can discard the card and declare an attribute. This card cannot be selected as an attack target by the monster with that attribute. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. So it's a decent staller as well. And finally, for the monsters, we have Lila. It's a Summoner Monk target, also a Magical Exemplar target. This is kind of why we don't run MSTs, because we have Lila, we have Breaker, we have Arcanite Magician, we have Hierophant of Prophecy, we even have Explosive Magician, so we've got more than enough back row hate in the deck, so adding MSTs would only slow it down. The mills from Lila are normally pretty average, because we don't mind milling a lot of the monsters in the deck, like Summoner Monk, because we could also get it back to our hand pretty easily. We love to mill Oracle of the Sun and Knights and Sorcerer and Geomancer of the Ice Barrier, and we don't mind milling quite a few spellbooks as well. So into these spells we have Spellbook of Secrets. We're running the Spellbook engine, so 3 of these. It's our searcher, even searches out Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Next, Spellbook Tower Prophecy, really good card. It increases a lot of consistency in the deck. That extra draw really adds up, and when it's destroyed, we can special summon a spellcaster from our deck, depending on the number of spellbooks in our graveyard. So we can sometimes special summon Blast Fan from our deck and add Birdman, which is so plus, because if our opponent uses the MST, they've effectively gone -2 from that. So it's really good. There are some ways to destroy it and to stop your opponent from getting the effect of Spellbook Tower Prophecy, but of course we're the ones using it, so we hope our opponent doesn't do that. Next we have Spellbook of Power, really good card, beefs up all of our spellcasters and acts as a searcher. Next, Spellbook of Wisdom, protects all of our spellcasters, and we could also use this during the draw phase. If we don't have any spellbooks in our graveyard, so if we have, for example, Breaker in the field, we can flip this up or just activate it from our hand during our draw phase, protect Breaker, and during our standby phase, we can return it to the bottom of our deck to draw a card, so that's really nice. Here we have Spellbook of Life, which is a really good card. We can banish one spellcaster type monster from our graveyard and reveal one spellbook spell card in our hand to target one spellcaster type monster in our graveyard. We special summon that target in face up attack position and equip it with this card. The equipped monster's level is increased by the level of the monster that was banished for this card's activation, and you can only activate this card once per turn. So this card has a lot of potential, and it's a really good playmaker for the deck. It allows us to easily overlay Arcanite Magicians. It allows us to reuse a lot of spellcasters, and allows us to control our opponent's graveyard with Knights and Sorcerer. Really key card in the deck. Next, Wonder Wands, really good card. It adds consistency to the deck. I only run 2 because I like to think of it as sort of like the deck's part of duality, but only better. What I mean by it adding consistency to the deck is that we can pretty much draw off of like a wide range of the monsters in our deck. I mean, this is probably over 90%. And if we open up with Spellbook Magician and we use Wonder Wand, that's like opening up with 7 cards instead of 6. If we special summon Oracle of the Sun and use Wonder Wand, we put Oracle of the Sun in our graveyard, and we have the same number of cards in our hand, and we've deck thinned. And of course, we could also use it with used up Arcanite Magicians to plus even more. Next are staples: Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm's quite live because our opponent will normally try to destroy Spellbook Tower Prophecy because they don't want us drawing, so it's more live than you'd think, even with a field spell. So we could actually always run a Gauze as well, potentially. And finally, Miracle Synchro Fusion. This card is a real, it's a really powerful card for the deck. I run 3 because I have a tough time drawing them, but also because the third copies rarely have a dead, because we could just set it or we could discard it with Summoner Monk. And if our opponent has like Son of Warnings, a previous Miracle Synchro Fusion, then our third copy becomes live, so we can definitely afford to run 3. Getting into the extra deck, we have 2 Supreme Arcanite Magician. Really good card. It's basically the same as Arcanite Magician, but it has 1,000 more attack and defense. We can only use this effect once per turn, but we also have the option to draw a card, so that's really good for after we make a big push. We can replenish our hands, so that's really nice. Next we have Gachi Kentetsu. We can make this from Spellbook Magician of Prophecy and sometimes Knights and Sorcerer. Next we have pretty staple rank 4 Exceeds. We have Utopia, Maestroke, and Black Ship. Black Ship's really good for dealing with stallers and just general field clearance, and that 1,000 burn damage could really come in handy. Next we have Hierophant of Prophecy and Big Eye. These two as options are very, very good. They pretty much account for most of the situations which you'd be in, because Hierophant deals with back row and Big Eye deals with monsters. Big Eye in particular has got a really, really nice effect. To just be able to take your opponent's monster forever is really, really powerful, and both have a lot of support from the spell books. Next we have Allied of Justice Catasta. We run Veiler, we run loads of level 4s, so Catasta for sure is a staple. Hyper Librarian's a similar story, and it's got a hell of a lot more support from the spell books, and it's also a Miracle Synchro Fusion target. Um, next we have Explosive Magician. Similar to Hyper Librarian, and also its effect can be abused with Magical Exemplar, which I may get into in a later vid to show some of the plays of the deck. Next, Tempest Magician, really, really good cards. We make this against Final Countdown and Exodia. We like to really, really punish them. We could use its effect to put counters on Supreme Arcanite Magician and get super beefy, or even Arcanite Magician. The discard is not such a big deal because we're drawing a lot from Spellbook Tower Prophecy, and it's generally just a really, really good card and a good answer to a lot of situations. Next we have Arcanite Magician, really, 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 really good card. It's the boss of the deck. I'll just read its effect. When this card is synchro summoned, place 2 spell counters on it. This card gains 1000 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove 1 spell counter from your side of the field to target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Really, really good effect. In theory, it's really abusable with Magical Exemplar, but getting Magical Exemplar and Arcanite Magician onto the field can be a bit tricky, and it's a lot easier to bring out Explosive Magician and Magical Exemplar than it is to bring out Arcanite Magician and Magical Exemplar. Besides that, this whole deck is pretty much built to abuse this card. It's really that good, and yeah, absolutely fantastic card. And finally, for the extra deck, we have Scrap Dragon, which is a brilliant card itself. Possibly the best synchro monster, definitely the best level 8. This is actually really abusable with Magical Exemplar, because every turn we can keep bringing back Knights and Sorcerer, and we can banish cards from our opponent's graveyard and destroy it with Scrap Dragon, so that's graveyard clearance and field clearance. And we could also bring back Veiler if we don't have Knights and Sorcerer, and then pop Veiler. But optimally, it would be Knights and Sorcerer which we bring back with Magical Exemplar. Guys, I'm actually running out of time now, so I'll just quickly go over the cards that I said I'd go over. First, we have Strength of Prophecy. Once per turn, you can shuffle 1 Spellbook spell card from your graveyard into your deck to target 1 face-up spellcaster type monster on the field, increase its level by 1 and its attack by 500. That's really good because we can't recycle copies of our field spell with the field spell, so this gives us an extra use, and also it increases level, so that's really good for exceeding and tuning with, and the attack boost is pretty decent. Chaos Source, we all know what it does. Dark Red Enchanter, this is for if we wanted to really increase the control of the deck. BOS, where we can main Chaos Source, we can normally main BOS, although I'd prefer to use Chaos Source because it has better synergy with the deck. Gravekeeper Spy, this is actually a card which I quickly wanted to go over. I don't think this is main deck worthy because I think it's too slow. I would even consider siding it. Right now there are just a lot more faster options. The next lot are Exceeds. We've got rank 5s, rank 6s, and rank 4s, which require free XYZ material. The deck can actually make these pretty easily, and I forgot whether it's rank 6s or rank 5s, but we can actually make these without going minus at all. Next we have some level 7 synchros. I'd prefer to put Black Rose Dragon in, but I just can't find the space for it. If you guys are able to find space for it, then that's great. Definitely try and main it if you can. And finally, we have Mind Control. We run so many tuners that we can definitely consider maining Mind Control, in my opinion. So, okay, guys, that's the deck. If you want some help, then feel free to PM me or leave a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to see more. If you have any suggestions, then also feel free to leave a comment about your improvement below. Thanks for watching, this is Azure Option, and I'll see you guys later.